He actually knows the word pancake now. It's amazing. Welcome to the Bruce Show. He lets me come along. Whew. Hello again. Whew, just walked up this hill behind my house for my second lockdown camping with Tony in the backyard. This is my backyard. All right, I'm at camp. Need to get this pack off my back. As you can see, I'm in the pines again. So yeah, get this pack off my back and come back to you. Oh, and there's Brucey. Hey Brucey, another camping trip. Should we do it? Yeah, welcome back everybody. Guess what, it's raining again. So I'm out the back of my house, just come up the hill. Here with Brucey, we're doing camping. Okay, so what I need to do is I've got a tarp and a tent. And I think I might set up the tarp first as usual. I've got a Gold Armor. Is it Gold Armor? I think it's Gold Armor tarp, 3x3. The way this hill is sloped is everything is going off to the side. Even though it looks like it's coming straight down here, it's actually anything that goes off is going off to the side there. So I'd probably put my tent. I've got my tent, my Hillberg Una will probably go just here. Yeah, so I want my tarp out in front. All right, so let's get the tarp done. Oh, and I've actually got two tarps with me. I've also got a clear tarp, just in case, a 1.8 by 2.4 clear polythene tarp, just in case I want to set up a windbreak. But it's not windy, and it's not actually that cold, but it is raining. And we might get a lot of rain, so I might just use that tarp to cover everything. Whew, actually hot after hiking up that hill. Okay, yeah, I've got my Gold Armor tarp. But first of all, I might just clear a site. No, I'll do this first, and then I'll see where I need to clear. There's lots of pine cones and stones and stuff. So last time I used this tarp was in the snow. There's a lot of snow, if you remember. I used it then. Got my little Gerber knife, my Gerber everyday carry knife, multi-tool. It's so handy. And sharp. All right, let's get that off there. All right, so we'll start with this one corner. So if this is the first time you've ever watched one of my videos, and you're wondering why I've got a tarp, if I've got a tent as good as the Hillberg Una, well, it's because I like to sit out. And I actually don't like sitting in tents. I find them quite claustrophobic. Well, I'm going to have to take it that way a bit. But not much. In fact, I might have to pull in even more cord here. In fact, yeah, let's make this closer. Okay. Slip knot. That's better. Two on the inside. One on the out. You might be wondering why I'm getting my head wet. It's because I'm hot doing this, and the rain is quite refreshing. I'll probably regret it later, but I've got a towel with me. Well, I've got Bruce's towel with me. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Right, I can tighten that up later. All right, so now I'm sure I'm going to be adjusting this quite a bit to how I need it. Yeah, so I can high at the back, low at the front. Okay, it's looking good actually. Yeah, and then what I'll probably do is take that one off at the back there and put it to the back tree, so at a bit of an angle. It'll make this a lot tighter, less slack in the middle. The other thing I could do is go all the way over to that one there. Huh. I'll do it at the back, it'll be fine. The longer you make your paracord, especially in the wet, the more it's all going to stretch. I just need it high enough to sit under. So what I'll do is I'll take this one off at the back and tie it to the tree behind. I need to get Bruce to move all those pine cones out of the way for me. He's good at that. Okay, I've finally got it figured out. So because this tarp has two seams, ridges, those seams need to be completely taut. So I've done it in a sort of a wing pattern, which actually, if there's really heavy rain, this is going to be excellent. Yeah. And there's plenty of room under here. And I can actually sit sit about here and be completely protected. Have my tent at the back there, all good. As long as Bruce doesn't keep bringing sticks for me. Okay, let's get the tent set up. So first of all, I've got to get these pine cones out the way. You gonna get the pine cones, Brucey? The pine needles actually are quite good to put the tent on because it gives some cushioning. But you just got to make sure there's no rocks or anything hidden underneath them. Like that. The trick is I'm trying to find the most level spot for the tent, and it's sort of going to be here. Yeah. The ground's quite dry underneath, which is good. Yeah. I think having the tent here will be good. Okay. Bring my backpack in from the rain. Now, at some point I might raise this even higher. The tarp, we'll see. Right now I just want to get the tent done. In fact, I probably will make this whole tarp higher. Once I've got the tent up, I'll know what I really need to do then. Okay, where's the door? It's typical. Okay. So just enough to cover the tent, not that much. Kind of running out of light here. I always seem to get to these things late. So you're meant to stake this out first, but I don't actually know where I want it to go yet. So I'll leave that for a sec. So the Hillberg Una, it's a one person tent, but doesn't have a vestibule. The reason I like that is I only want a one person tent, but I want it big enough to be able to take Brucey with me as well. So, it comes through here, it starts here, okay. Anyone who's got a Hillberg tent knows they're fairly complicated in design because they're so rugged, designed to take such a pounding. So you may wonder why I need it. The tarp, as I said, I like to sit out. But yeah, they're not the simplest of tents to set up. But once they are set up, it's worth it. So you see, this is why you're meant to peg it in. Just This makes it a little bit easier, but I've got it. There you go. One. That in. Nope. Okay. That's in. All right, golden. I probably don't even need the rain cover on, but I'll put it on. The vent. Now the one problem with this tent, and it is quite a serious problem, is condensation. I would love to be able to modify this tent and put another vent in. But that might be quite difficult to do. Okay. So it's going to be up in the air a little bit on this end. Hadn't really counted for that being so wide, but that'll be okay. I think it'll be okay inside. Just have to check it. Let's have a look. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, so guy it out. Tighten it all off. Bruce is desperately showing off over here. It's quite a nice little channel here actually to take this rain away. That works well. Okay, so at the back there is actually a vent. So I will probably prop that up just to let the air flow through. Sort of works. If anything, the toggle on this vent thing needs to be bigger. Okay, right, that works. So what I want to do is lift. I want to lift the tarp up slightly. So to do that, I'm going to have to release these low points a bit. So just slacken that off. Then it should lift quite easily. Yeah, that's much higher. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And then, yes, that's better. Loads of room now. Then I can tighten this off again. That's why you put slip knots and everything. Yep. How high up is that now? Oh, that's good. Okay. I might retie this one because I figure I could give myself a little bit more room out here. I don't think the water's going to pool if I have this up a little bit more. How's that? A bit more. Oh, that's fine. Okay. All right. We are laughing. Now, I won't need to use the guys. I mean, they add a ton of stability, but just don't need them. Everything's covered. Home. Check it out. Not bad. Okay, that's great. Sorted. Finally got camp set up. Whew. Yeah, so I brought another clear tarp along as a windbreak, like a poly tough thing. I don't know that I'm going to need it though. There's no wind at all. Yeah, so I brought this thing along just in case, but I just don't think I'll need it. We shall see, I guess. Definitely don't need the guys. Let's get those out of the way. All right. Let's get everything unpacked out of the pack. So in the pack with me, I've got a couple of litres of water, a couple of bottles of water. This is my Tatonka Bison 110 litre pack. I know, Brucey, you want some water, don't you? I'll get you some water in a second. Whoa. God, I'm really losing the light here because I'm in the forest. Okay. There are no midges, so don't have to worry about that. So, beanie, food bag, table, chair, kitchen sink, cooking stuff, transit, fuel, knife and saw. They can stay in the pack. Don't think we need them. I'm not going to be lighting a fire because we're in lockdown. Beer, light, power bank, camera stuff, trail cam for tonight, see if anything comes visiting tonight. All my bedding, Bruce's bedding, stuff like that. We're on a dry set. That's pretty much it. Okay, cool. So what I might do is, with the pack, is that going to get wet there? I don't think so. Yeah, you see, I don't have a vestibule, so that's one thing you notice, is there's nowhere to keep stuff. You can unhook one corner of this, treat it like a vestibule. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything unpacked and come back to you. Ooh, okay. It's all good. We're all sorted now. I just got a bit wet there. Turning the camera on. Excuse me if I just wipe myself down a bit with the towel. This is actually Brucey's towel, which we're definitely going to need later before he's allowed back in the tent. Oh man, this is good. I like it. It's actually Bruce's dinner time. So let me just sort Bruce out for his dinner because he's been sitting here so nicely. And he can't have what I'm having later, so he's got his own dinner, haven't you, Brucey? Got your own dinner. Where is your dinner? Here it is. Right, you can use my completely pointless transit pan. Hang on, sit down like a good boy. Just wait, Bruce. That's a big serving. Such a good boy. Go on then. Oh. People ask me sometimes, why do I make him sit and wait? Why am I... What did one person say? I was being too alpha, I was being cruel, or... I don't know what they were getting at. Anyway, they obviously don't know anything about border collies. Border collies, if you don't do that sort of stuff, they can be quite aggressive, quite nippy, quite dominating. One of my subscribers messaged me the other day. I won't say his name, but to say he's having issues with his border collie that he's just got. Do I have any idea why? It's like, yeah, you've got to dominate them. or they will dominate you. Wow, it's really coming down. So I've put another piece of paracord up here just to lift it up a bit more, just to give me a bit more headroom, so I can pretty much stand up now. It's very comfy. So, what's the situation here? Well, we're in day 10, I think, day 10 of lockdown here in New Zealand. It's August 27th. August the 27th, 2021. And COVID is running rampant in the country. Well, in the North Island, I should say, around Auckland. The Delta variant. And we're in lockdown. So I'm actually camping just behind the house here. As I said, we've got a little pine block here right next to the house, so it's our land. You know, the only thing is I'm being sensible. I'm not having a fire because anything you do is meant to be a risk-free activity, and obviously there's no such thing as a totally risk-free activity, but having a fire would introduce a level of risk. So this site is good. I like this setup. The water is draining off the end there, and I've cut a little channel here, down here on the ground, just so it definitely flows off. So yeah, all good. Right, what I might do now is, parched. Bruce has got a huge bowl of water here that I took off the tarp. Whoa, that made him jump. Bruce, you're in the water, come around. You're sitting in the rain. He's had his dinner. Actually, if I leave the pan out, it'll just clean the pan up. Yeah, so it's going to do that sploshing occasionally just because I've straightened up and made a little bit of a flat roof. That's fine, it just flows off. So what I might do now is have a cup of hot chocolate. Yes, I need a cup of hot chocolate. Got my one Tigress table here. Very handy. Thank you, Tigress, for sending this to me. Yeah, so I always get asked this, every video, what is my cook system? It's the Trangia. In this case, it's a Trangia 25, which is the bigger one. I've got the smaller one. I don't really use that now, except unless I'm going up very, very high altitude, where I've got to climb. The reason for that is just that that's lighter. This is quite heavy. It's still heavy, the Trangia. It's not a lightweight system by any means. Now, in my last video, which actually hasn't published yet, it's coming out tonight. That was funny. I did another camp not far from here. I burnt the rubber seal. I didn't notice the rubber seal had come out of the lid and was stuck. So there's a rubber seal in the lid. And I just didn't notice that it was stuck on the inside. So that caught fire. So I'm onto my spare. Right, fuel is methylated spirits with a few teaspoons of water. Why water? Stop it sooting. Okay. So yeah, I feel like a hot chocolate. I would usually sit straight down and have a beer. But I've only brought one beer with me. And I want to save that for dinner. Why have I only brought one beer with me? I don't know why. I don't know. Stupid, I say. At least I'm not going to have to use any of my water for Brucey. I can actually collect water off the tarp as well, as a last resort. You know, tarps are treated with a DWR, but as long as you're not doing it all the time, and this is used, anything that was on here honestly is washed off now, because this thing has been through it, I tell you. I was in a major freezing cold storm with this tarp. So the problems I was having there, say if you're using something like the DD hammock tarp or an AquaQuest, you can have it square, perfectly flat. It'll tension at all four corners, no problem at all, because there's only one seam. This has two crisscross seams, this gold armor tarp. So that doesn't work with this. It has to be like that. You have to do wing shape. Yeah, so just bear that in mind if you're going to get the gold armor. It is designed to go wing shape. You know, like a hammock tarp. You would like have it lengthways like that. But I do like it. It's pretty light. It hasn't leaked. It's very well seam sealed. And I like the fact there's so many attachment points on the outside of it. So many. You can make a shelter out of this thing really easily. Yeah. So I do like this tarp. And it did really well, I tell you. With the snow that fell on it and everything, it did very well. So what am I having? I'm going to have hot chocolate. Yeah, I don't know, why did I only bring one beer? I mean, here's the thing. I'm not far from home. I can go home and get them. If I want to get another beer, I can just walk home and get one. It's only 5 minutes. But no, it's probably a sign that I should just have my one beer. I've got some rum, spiced rum for later. My favourite, the Kraken. Now, usually I would put his bed out for him so we can lie on it. But he doesn't care because he's got these soft pine needles to lie on. He seems perfectly happy. But yeah, the last trip he stayed under the tarp as well and he was fine. Anyone who knows my videos or knows Bruce knows that he doesn't usually stay still. Usually he's off running all over the place. So to have him lying here like this, it's quite nice. Saying that, if he hears a goat, then he's off. But because it's raining quite hard, he won't hear anything at all. Oh, it's beautiful. But you know what I am going to have? It's cigar time. I've earned this. So again, it's Monte Cristo number 4. So before I go any further, just wanted to talk about something. Situation going on right now in Afghanistan. Look, there was obviously the incidents that happened last night for me, and I think it was 12 American soldiers, a lot of Afghanis killed as well, and I don't know, scores injured. My heart goes out to everyone there going through this right now. You know, I know a few US military, special forces, SEAL, and yeah, they must be hurting right now. So my heart goes out to all of them. To America, you're mourning, I know. And to my home country, Britain, trying to get its people out as well. So there's like a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now with Afghanistan and COVID. And just wanted to make that point that you're in my thoughts. I'm sure they're in everybody's thoughts in New Zealand. And that we stand together against all this terrible violence that's going on. Certain words I can't use on here, but you know what I'm getting at. So I feel for you all, and let's get through this and hope it's over and done with as quickly as possible. This is such a beautiful spot. It really is. It's just idyllic. I probably don't need this light on behind me anymore. Turn that off. Maybe that's better. Yeah, it seems quite dark in here. I'm sure it doesn't look dark on the camera, but definitely the light is going. Right, I'm going to wait for this to boil and I'll come back to you with hot chocolate. Welcome back. You'll see that I've put that clear poly tarp up here as a windbreak, because there was quite a breeze coming through and now it's just deflecting off the top of that, going over the top of the camp. So that's worked quite well. It is swirling a bit around here, but the majority of the breeze was coming from there. It's made a big difference. I could put it closer, but I don't really want to be stuck right up against that. I wouldn't usually take another tarp with me just to make a windbreak, but because I'm so close to home, I figured why not? I haven't had to walk very far. Ah. Now I can see it's quite wet under the tarp, but that was from when it was on the ground when I was laying it out. Yeah. Some of it might be condensation, but I think it's mainly from when I laid it out on the ground, set it up. Still got moisture underneath it. It's definitely not leaking. The seams are very good on this thing. But then with everything I use, who knows? Could fail. You just can't tell. And the ground is very wet. Under the pine needles, it's not so bad. Bruce, what are you doing over there? Honestly. Yeah, usually I'd get his bed out for him. But I don't want him getting it soaking wet, because he's just going to keep running out. He's over here now. Bruce, come and lie down for a minute. Come on. You going to come and lie down? Or are you going to play? What are you going to do? You going to lie down for a bit? Have some water. Thank you. Thank you for my kisses. Yes. Oh, you're so wet. Thank you. Come and lie down. Oh, no! Why? Why? Why come over here and do that? Oh, nightmare. So, this camping session. So, we got a lot of rain coming. From now till tomorrow lunchtime, I think, is a fair amount of rain meant to fall. So it should be interesting. Should be interesting. I'm sure I'm going to stay absolutely bone dry under here. It's not that cold. It's single digit. It's about 9 degrees centigrade. I've got a down jacket with me. I've actually got my blanket with me as well, in case it does get quite cold. I think I was feeling it though, just because of that breeze. It's amazing. The breeze can cut through you. It really can. Incredible. That's why wind chill is so deadly. Yeah. So, yeah, tent this time with a tarp. My last camp, which again hasn't actually gone live yet. It's coming out tonight. From last week was a failed hammock camp using the Mock Drama 5.0. Most comfortable hammock in the world. I'd really suggest you go and look at that video before you go and buy one of those. I have never been so uncomfortable is the wrong word. Unsettled. Unsettled is the word. It was just, I just couldn't. The second you get comfortable in that thing, and let's say you then want to move, you've got to just readjust everything again. It's a nightmare. Bruce, stop being silly. I took it home and tried it again, just to see if there was anything I was doing wrong. I looked at countless videos, how to set it up. I still couldn't get it to where I wanted it. So let me explain. This is my personal preference. Lots of people have their own ways of camping. For me, I want to be comfortable. That's the most important thing. Comfortable. Then number 2, hassle-free. I don't want any hassle. No hassle at all. So, comfort. Well, as a chair, it's a nice concept. It was very comfortable to sit on as a chair. But then you couldn't really do anything once you're on it. You had to keep getting off it, sliding off it, which is a bit of a pain. In a normal hammock, you just sit there quite easily. You can lean over. You can do what you need to do on the table. Not the Drama. It just didn't feel right. The pad was a bit of a pain dealing with that, getting it the right inflation. All the straps. The pockets, well, you can't have an open drink in there at all. So I didn't see the point of that. I'd rather my chair with my pocket so I can have an open drink in and my table. This to me is a very comfortable, easy setup. Yeah, very easy to do. The amok as a concept is to be able to lie completely flat. And it's meant to be so that side sleepers and front sleepers are comfortable, but in a hammock form. Well, yeah, I managed to fall asleep on my front. I did. Then I went to move and I slid. Because I just couldn't get it right. Top heavy. Oh, and I tell you the other thing, I felt sick, nauseous later in the day. Floaty, like you've been on a boat all day because of that. I never get that in a hammock, a normal hammock. So that was weird, really weird. So, not for me. Not for me. I wouldn't recommend it. It's quite expensive for what it is. And you've got to have their pad, really, for it to work, which is quite expensive as well. So, no, it just wasn't for me. God, I've seen so many videos on it. Oh, and the other thing is it leaked like a sieve from one side, the strap. So I double checked that. What was the difference between the two buckles and why? And definitely it was coming through the rubber grommet. The other side, it wasn't making it through the rubber grommet. So there was nothing wrong with the setup. It was a fault with that rubber seal on that side, on the left-hand side. And that material, unfortunately, that they've used acts like a sponge, and it just transmits that water all the way down, right down to where your sleeping bag is. So that just didn't work for me at all. No, I'm sure Amok and all the Amok fanboys will say I did something completely wrong, but this is the other thing. If it's that easy to screw up, then why would you have it? It's complicated, but I didn't screw up. I know I didn't screw up because I hung it up at home, and I could see what the problem was. Yeah, I could see the hole. I could see where it was leaking. If you want to do hammock camping, just get a hammock. Honestly, they're so comfy. And get a big, long hammock so you can lie sideways. Then you can lie on your side, no problem. Even on your front. I use the XLC Blackbird XLC. I think it's by Warbonnet. Very comfy. Yeah. Proper hammock. Easy to use. Very comfy to sit in. Easy to get in and out of. That's the other thing with the Amok is that you slide out of it or you stand out of it. If you've been asleep in it, how are you meant to get out of it without putting your feet on the floor? You haven't got your shoes on. And you just can't do it. So you've got to have a mat down to do that. So again, just more hassle. I actually went home. If you haven't seen the video, I went home and got my camp chair. Yeah. The tarp that it comes with is very good. I like the tarp. Pretty small, but big enough. Like I could have used it here today, to be honest. The only downside with it was the guy lines weren't quite long enough, but there was only one guy line that I needed it to be longer. And even then, that's not a hassle. That's quite easy to do. I could have bought it. I could have used it this time. It's very lightweight, very well built. The only thing with it was it needs seam sealing. Yeah, in heavy rain like this, it would need seam sealing, and it doesn't come seam sealed. And you're seeing that more and more now with non-Chinese gear, is they're not seam sealing because it takes up its cost, it takes up so much time, and it takes up so much space on the factory floor. And European Americans, I guess they just don't want to do it. So now you're seeing MSR, obviously Amok, places like they're just not doing seam sealing anymore, and it's easy for them just to chuck in some seam sealant and say, here, do it yourself. That's a cop out. Whereas, unfortunately, I mean, this is Chinese. They use machines, tape sealing machines, which are expensive. But they get the job done. Bruce is walking through the tripod legs. Aren't you, Brucey? Hey, don't come over here and shake, please. He's having a lot of fun. This tarp that I've set up here has made a big difference. It was just a constant, gentle breeze, and now that's gone. I'm getting the occasional swirl, but the majority of it is stopped just because of that tarp. It's quite heavy, that thing, but it's very tough, and it's see-through. You could, and because it's got no seams in it or anything like that, you could use that above here instead. It's quite small, this one, 2.4 times 1.8, so it's not big at all. They did come in bigger sizes, but of course they're heavy. Good for car camping though, definitely good for car camping. I would use that on a car camp, definitely. The only thing is, you just gotta, I've used elastic shock cord on the bottom corners to hook it onto pegs. Yeah. Shot cord it's pretty handy for that. It's handy for tents as well. Get yourself a roll of shot cord. It's good stuff. It's still piping hot. Oh, it's chilly actually, yeah. I might have to put my down jacket on underneath this. What I will do is, I'm going to finish this hot chocolate. I'm just going to sit and mellow out to the sound of the rain on the tarp. It's so nice. It's a very consistent sound as well because it's coming off the trees. Yeah, I'm going to chill here and it'll be dark when I come back to you doing dinner. All right, welcome back everybody. Okay, time for dinner. So, for dinner, right, first of all I need to just refuel. Bruce has been running around like crazy. I don't know where he is. He's a dog possessed at the moment. Right, now for dinner. I have got, so hang on, I need to organise myself here first. God, the temperature's really dropped. Oh, fire would be so nice right now, it really would. But I don't have one, because I'm being sensible. Right, let's get this lit. Yeah, so for dinner, what we have is some pulled pork. Now, I usually have this at home. It's delicious. It's Beacon Sons, which I guess is like a New Zealand butcher. Beacon Sons apple barbecue pork. Ready to pull. Hey. And it is absolutely delicious. I've had this quite a few times. This could be quite messy, but it's just in a bag. Just got to put it in the pan and it will take care of itself, I think. Usually I cook it in the oven, but it should be fine in the pan. So I just need to cut the top open with my handy dandy Gerber knife. Where is it? There we go. Right. Oh, yeah, I can see my breath now. It's that cold. I was going to say, it feels like the temperature really dropped suddenly. So I thought, well, it's dropped, so get some food on. You know what I always say, when you're hungry, eat. I've brought the camera in under the tarp. So you're not going to see all the raindrops falling at the moment. But it was chucking down and I didn't want to walk out there and get soaking wet again trying to set the camera up. Yeah, but it is raining. I think you can still hear it. Okay, so you just empty this into the pan. And basically it's already pre-cooked. So you're just heating it up, really, cooking it through a bit more. but I felt like easy camping tonight. I didn't feel like making a massive meal. Oh, that smells good. Oh, that smells really good. Okay. Back at the box. Right. Remember, with these transiers, always use the pan handle when you're doing anything with it. Okay, so I've got the flame on full. That's going to have to get pretty hot. Yeah, that's going to have to get very hot. That's going to take a while. And then I have some coleslaw. Japanese miso coleslaw. I had this on one of my trips before. It was so delicious, and I figured it would go well with this. Yep. And then I have a beer to enjoy with it, and this time, a very special beer. Very special indeed. Yes, that's right, there is no branding on it, because this is a homebrew. Homebrew beer. Can't beat it. We'll see how this one is. It's a hazy IPA homebrew. It's not going to be very fizzy. I don't like them overly fizzy. So I was sitting here just thinking, you know what? You're cold, eat. Because you're quite hungry. I was quite hungry. So I thought, let's get it done. So I need to get this thing up to boil. Probably to get it really hot, it's probably got to sit in there, I guess, for 10 minutes. And then have my coleslaw. So I'll come back to you then. Okay. I think we're almost in business. The only thing I haven't done yet is given Bruce his light. Bruce, come around here. Let me give you your light. No, I'm not going to do red this time. Thank you. Hey, come here. I'm just going to put it on light. Very, very dim. Just so I can see you. So everybody knows where you are. Oops. Put it on bright. Hold on. That's it. That's all we want. Actually, a bit more. Oh, you're so warm. You've been running around. Okay, there you go, Brucey. Okay, this is looking good. I think we're done here. Let me put the coleslaw in. I'm not sure exactly what makes it Japanese. Probably miso. There's some miso and chopped nuts and things, but I don't need any of that. Just some coleslaw, because it's going to get drenched in the sauce of the pulled pork anyway. Yeah, Bruce unfortunately can't have any of this. It's just too rich for him. Gosh, it's got all sorts of packets in. I think that's enough. Let's save those bits. All right. Oop, oh, wasted some already. Wow, that smells so good. Okay, here we go. Let's drench the coleslaw in the gravy. And there you have it. Pulled pork. Check it out. Look at that. Pulled pork and coleslaw. Yum! Okay, let's get in this, because I'm quite hungry now suddenly. Oh, someone's come back. Oh, he's had his dinner. Oh, yeah. That's so good. I will be toasty after this. Hot. Hot. Oh, that's hot. Very good though. And I've got my beer. Oh, a few comments about why do I tap the top. Tapping the top stops it frothing out. It kills the gases at the top. I don't know why. It just seems to work. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Homebrew IPA hazy. Grapefruit. Yeah, grapefruit. Yeah. Oh, that came out well. Yep, pleased with that. Good homebrew. Yeah, I have a canning machine, which is a nightmare to use. I think it's called the cannula canning machine. Absolute nightmare getting it right. Oh my God, it's so difficult. I should have stuck with bottles. Oh, so good. I thought it might be too much, but I'm wolfing through it. Anne just sent me a text, my wife, Anne, with a picture of a glass of wine on the go. Said to her she deserves it. Especially if I'm up here having a beer, because she's all alone at home. Without Bruce as well, because I've got Brucey with me. You can't see him, but he's just sitting there staring at a tree with his light. Because that's what Bruce does. It's quite late. It's not too late, but it is quite late. I left it a bit before I had dinner. But yeah, I got cold. This tarp is doing a good job of deflecting some of the wind, but unfortunately it's just swirling from all sorts of different directions. That's the problem with this spot. It's never constant. And if I had a fire, smoke would be just going everywhere. But as I said, we're in lockdown. You shouldn't really be lighting fires. I think they announced today, so what was it? 70 more cases, so we're at day 10 of our lockdown. So I think we're at now, we locked down for one case. But the reason was, it was one case of Delta, and we knew based on what was going on in New South Wales what was going to happen. So locked down for one case, and now we're at 300 and something. That's with lockdown. Without lockdown, don't know how many cases we'd have. So it had to be done. It's just a shame that hardly anyone here is vaccinated. Not just that. Tens of thousands of people have just been vaccinated, and they're not even protected yet. They won't be protected for a couple of weeks. I just had my first vaccination a couple of days ago. I had the Pfizer vaccine. Yeah, and I had a couple of little chills, aches. My arm was really sore. But I've had COVID. So I was probably destined to have more of a reaction because I've already had COVID. And yes, I know that means I've got antibodies and immunity, but this is Delta. Who knows? Who knows? As I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe governments are trying to take control and blah, 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 blah. You know, that this is all organised globally. I think it was Jeremy Clarkson who tweeted, governments can't even fix a pothole in the road. It's so true. But everyone's allowed to believe what they want to believe. I believe in that. Freedom of speech and opinion. You shouldn't be locked up or banned or cancelled just because you've got an opinion. I thought I wouldn't be able to finish this. This is amazing. I wonder how many of you in the Northern Hemisphere could be camping now, that it's summer for you still. But how many of you camp in winter or when it's really cold? When I say really cold, I mean when it's cold. Not snowing, but cold and rainy. Do you stop completely? Put all the camping gear away and just say, nope, that's it, we're done? Done till next spring? Or do you get out there and try and do it as well with a campfire? Let me know, I'd be curious. I posted a picture of the gear load out for this trip. It's a lot of gear. But you've got to remember that I have to carry all of Bruce's stuff. And he's pampered, he's got a couple of blankets and things. I like to be comfortable. It's all the water dripping off the top. I like to be comfortable, so I like my table, my chair, full-size trangia. So I pack heavy because I don't care. I enjoy the creature comforts. If I wanted to do super uber light, I wouldn't have the camp chair. I wouldn't have the table. I wouldn't have the trangia. I'd have a little butane thingy. I wouldn't have the pots and pans. I wouldn't have the pancake mix. Yeah. I'd have a smaller sleeping pad. And I wouldn't have all the camera equipment. I would just take a GoPro, like everybody else does. Whereas I take a full-blown tripod, big camera, the Sony a6600, couple of lights, lighting equipment, loads of batteries, all the sound equipment, extra tripod, the GoPro pod. Ugh. Yeah, I carry a lot of stuff. But it doesn't bother me. I'm not into ultra-light camping because I think it's ultra uncomfortable. I mean, what would you do in conditions like this now? Okay, the rain has died down. But let's say you went ultra-light. So no tarps, just the tent. No chair, no table, nothing. What do you do with those few hours if it's raining? You're just sitting in your tent with your dog, because I'd always take the dog, I'd always take Brucey. So he'd have to stay in the tent. What do you do, just sit there and watch a movie? Listen to podcasts in your tent? No, I'm not up for that. I've done it before, and it's boring. It's really, really boring. Watch the Outdoor Gear Review. There's an episode where Luke, the guy who does it, he went on a mountain hike right at the top of the mountain. It was blowing and snowing outside and stuff. And honestly, he was just trying not to fall asleep because he was stuck in his tent. That's not my sort of camping. I don't enjoy that. It doesn't do anything for me. You're defeating the elements only because your tent is good. And that's it. That was delicious. Whereas I like to sit out and look at it all. And you can set your tarps up in a configuration that will block the wind. Okay, major storm. No, you really couldn't do it. It would all come down. But I was up there, what? 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, yeah. Minus 20 wind chill. Heaving wind. Actually, with this tarp and this tent. Snow piling onto it. It's quite a bit of snow. I'd say it was half a foot of snow. Yeah, 6 inches of snow. Maybe 5. Very gusty, lots of wind. I still managed to sit out. I still enjoyed it up until a point that morning where I couldn't have a fire at that point, and I was freezing cold sitting outside eating. Everything was frozen. My boots were frozen solid. The shoelaces were sticking out sideways, frozen. So yes, okay. That was grim. I really was not enjoying that moment. But up to there, I'd really enjoyed it. It was really nice. And I knew I wasn't going to have a fire. And to be honest, I had to get up because I had to go home. And I had to get up to start filming. I could have stayed in the tent and waited for the weather to clear a bit. Or just stayed warm in the tent. And if I had to, then I could have reached out and just opened up a bit and had my coffee. Put the fire on right, the trangia right on next to it. There's lots of things to do. I choose to sit out in it because A, I want to show that you can defeat the elements, certain elements. And B, I just think it is nicer to sit out. I can smell. Bruce, come here. Good boy. Sit. No, don't go in there. I've caught a whiff of a stag. And so is he. Now, I can smell a stag from a long way off. For some reason, I just pick up on the smell from one of my hunting days. He's gone. I just definitely caught a whiff of a stag. Could have been just up the top there and just got spooked by the light. Maybe he was inquisitive. Their eyesight is amazing at night. That would be cool if a stag came up. Yeah. My homebrew beer is very tasty. See, I'm glad I saved that. Because if I'd had it earlier, when I was thirsty, I would have glugged it. Yeah, because I'm a glugger with my first beer. And then I wouldn't have had a beer to have with dinner. It's cold. You know what I need? The blanket. This is the one Tigress down blanket that they sent me. It's so warm. It's big. You actually, I did have it. You can wear it, so it's got buttons, so you can actually wear it over your shoulders. But it's very warm. And what I will do is tonight, when Bruce is on his bed, even though I'm going to dry him with his towel, I will put this on top of him. Not to keep him warm, because this is warm for him. But just so he dries out underneath it. Yeah. There's nothing worse than wet dog in your tent. He's having a great time. Here he comes. What is it, Bruce? Are you going to come over here? You going to say hello to everybody? No? This is water right there. It's obviously not thirsty. Right, so that was delicious. It was much better than I thought it was, and I managed to eat the whole thing, which is incredible. Okay, I am going to kick back, enjoy my beer, listen to the rain, and bring you back for Cigar and Rum Time. Yep. Oh, got my blanket on the go. My down blanket, which will become Bruce's down blanket tonight. Oh, it's so warm. I love this thing. Thank you, One Tigress. And it is cigar time. Whew, it's cold, I tell you. It's cold. I might have to put my hood up, actually. Yeah. Yeah, it is chilly. Bruce is having a whale of a time. Aren't you, Brucey? What are you up to? You going to come and say hello? Whew, it's cold. Should have bought my bigger puffer jacket. I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't think it was going to get as cold as this. I thought maybe 9 degrees, but... What? What's up, Brucey? No, it's a cigar. I don't know why you always come over when I've got a cigar. Something about the smell of the cigar. He loves it. Oh, triggers him. Look at that. Oh, leave it, Bruce. Have some water. He'll do his own thing. That was a lovely dinner. Right. The Kraken spiced rum. This stuff is just delicious. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. especially to the fallen. Yeah, the rain has died down. But I was just looking on my phone at the weather forecast. This, by the way, this setup, so I use my GorillaPod sometimes if I'm filming with my phone, so I don't use a GoPro. I do have an Osmo Action, but to be honest, the camera in my iPhone 12 Pro Max is phenomenal. It's a fantastic camera. So I just put it in the GoPro, put it in the GorillaPod and walk around with that instead. Yeah, so this is a great setup because I've got my table as well. So I always carry that with me, just as a phone holder. And if I want to watch a TV show, an episode of Clarkson's Farm or something like that. Or Ted Lasso. Don't know if any of you have seen Ted Lasso. It's on Apple TV. It's about it's about a British football team. I think it's Richmond football team. Soccer. And they hire this coach from America who was a NCAA coach, I think, for football, American football. And he's hilarious. So good. Can't remember if he was in Horrible Bosses or something. Anyway, that's a good show. Ted Lasso on Apple TV. See, the wind is blowing that way now. So it's just catching the edge. If I move back just behind where the tarp is, it's still catching it, but I don't feel the breeze from here. Again, I could move the tarp and bring it in closer. But no, I think it's fine like this. Yeah. So that was a good evening. That was nice. That food was delicious. It really was. Even though I'm pretty cold, well, I'm warm under the blanket, to be honest. But even though it is cold and I haven't got a fire, I'm comfortable, really comfortable, because I've got everything just the way I like it. It's great. And I'm lucky to be out here doing this, especially in lockdown. Yeah. Others aren't so lucky. There's another channel here. His name, Outdoors with Sea West. He's sent me a message. He's camping in his back garden, actual back garden. I don't have a back garden. This is my back garden because I live on a hill, and this is all part of the same hill. So I think he's doing a video tonight. I think it's in the rain. Don't know. Find out in a week. And he's having to do it in the back garden. I'm not sure where he's based, if he's up in Auckland or not. But Auckland is going to be locked down for at least the next 2 weeks. At least. Whereas the rest of New Zealand, we're coming out of level 4 on Tuesday. So that's it's Friday today. And we're coming out of it on Tuesday midnight. But that's going to level 3. It's still heavily restricted. I still can't go camping. No, still can't leave my area and do an overnighter. I could do a day trip. Who wants to do that? I'm not into day camps. No, I like to do a full bore overnighter. So yeah, I can't even do that until we get back down to level 2. Who knows when that will be. Depends if they find any cases or not. Yeah. Bruce is lying, you can't see him, but he's just down here, just behind this tree with his light. He's just chilling. Sorry about the smoke. See, now the wind is gone. Suddenly. And then it will pick up again in a second. So it's really swirling, just coming in little gusts. That's quite a lot of smoke, isn't it? It's bizarre, it's blowing straight at the camera now instead of this way. Very strange weather. I don't like the wind. It's the worst of the weather. You've got sun, snow, rain, hot, cold, wind. I would take all those others twice on Sunday versus wind. I can't think of any time that I enjoy it being windy. No. Give me the rain. I don't know if the microphone's picking up the rain falling on the tarp, but it does make for a lovely sound. So I think tonight, in the middle of the night, when it absolutely pelts down, which is forecast to do in the middle of the night and through into the morning, I'll have to record that so you can hear what it sounds like in the tent. It's when you want earplugs, and I always carry earplugs with me. Because torrential rain, I don't know how anyone can sleep in torrential rain on a tent, it's so loud. So camp has held up really well so far. But then again, I haven't had any wind. Just rain. It was kind of heavy earlier. But no, all the drainage is working. I've dug out a little channel down the side here. So the water comes off the tarp, hits the side of the tent, and then flows straight off the hill here. I'll just cut a little path for it to go, a little channel. So it doesn't flow back here. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy. I'm pleased with the setup. I haven't unpacked it. I mean, my sleeping bag and everything is still in its pack. What have I got with me? I've got my Enlightened Equipment Conundrum quilt. Yeah. So it can be zipped up into a sleeping bag. It's a brilliant piece of kit. And the reason I like it is I turn around, I turn side and side and sleep on the front and stuff like that. Quilts, you can do that. Sleeping bags, you can't. Because sleeping bags have a hood, whereas a quilt doesn't have a hood. You cinch it around your neck and you just wear a beanie and you have your pillow and you're fine. Yeah. Right. I'm going to chill out with the rest of my rum and cigar. I think I'll come back to you when we're ready for bed. Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for coming along. Welcome back, everybody. So, I'm in bed. So is little Brucey. You can just see his nose. All right. It's okay. Settle. Bedtime, Bruce. No. Settle, Bruce. Lie down. Good boy. Oh, I just woke him up. Sorry, Brucey. Let's keep you dry. Yeah. He's under his little down blanket. He does settle under there. Last time he slept under it. I woke up in the morning and he was completely... I couldn't see him at all. He burrowed underneath it completely. Loved it. And he was so dry as well. It was great. And he's on his one tigress dog bed as well. Rain has started again. It's quite heavy now. I'm sure it's going to get really heavy tonight and really loud. It's chilly. I've got this zipped up. I've got the vent open. So, there's the vent. So this is all mesh. And I've got the front door completely open. But what I will do is when I turn the light out, just so I don't get any insects in here, when I turn the light out, I'm actually going to open this door. Drop the mesh out. Just to really make sure I get airflow, because that is it. That's the only venting in the entire tent. And when I was in here in that big winter storm, it was full of condensation. In fact, that was frozen. The mesh was frozen and it was just, everything was wet. When I stayed by the river in this, it was fine. And I had the door open. So I'm going to do that again. There's a fair amount of space in here, considering it's technically a one-man tent. I do like my comforts. I do like having a two-man tent. But I also like Hillberg. And the Hillberg two-man tent that I've got is a Steiker, and it's one of the most complicated tents you could possibly imagine to put up. Because it's built for gale force winds with heavy snow, etc., etc. It's incredible. Don't get me wrong, but it's not an everyday tent. It's a 4-season tent, only for use in 4th season. So I'm using this one now, but I would like a bit more room. I do miss my vestibule. So for a simple camp where I don't have to climb up to a mountain, I'm looking for another tent, and I'm looking at the Hillberg Anaris. Anaris? Anyway, it's quite a lightweight tent where you use poles or you can tie off to trees. It would be perfect here with some long paracord. It really would be perfect. But anyway, we will see. Right, it's quite late now. He's cleaning himself. He's going to do that for quite some time. He'll do that for an hour. He'll probably do that for an hour. As long as he doesn't try and come and snuggle, which he will do in the morning. He might try and do it now, but he knows it is bedtime now. I don't want him to snuggle while he's soaking wet. I have dried him off. I mean, I've rubbed him with a towel, but that's as much as, without a hairdryer, how dry can you get a dog that's absolutely drenched? Oh, I'm tired. And I was getting cold out there. Now I'm in my conundrum. So this is rated transition limit. I think of this transition limit is down to -6. Yeah. You wouldn't want to get any colder than that. Comfort limit, I think, is like 0 centigrade. So that's perfect for these conditions. Enlightened equipment. By the way, just in case you don't know, if you ever looked at lighting equipment or you're wondering what their temperature ratings mean, that number that they show, that's the transition limit. There's comfort, transition, extreme, or survival. So enlightened equipment they show the transition limit. What's the transition limit? That's when you're basically moving from from comfortable to cold, where you're feeling it. Yeah. So you've got to take that into account when you look at those numbers. That's the transition limit. That's not the comfort limit. So yeah, this is ideal for these conditions because it's single digit outside, which is just right for this. And once I'm hunkered down in this, like Steve, and all zipped up and buttoned up and clipped up and stuff like that. But it's a quilt, I don't have to do any of that. But I'll be toasty warm. Plus I've got my thermals on. Got my thermal and a t-shirt on. Oh, look at that. What a plug. AB Outdoors and Camping t-shirt. Yeah, so I've got all that on. I'll be warm. I'm warm with this on now. It's a great bag. Okay, so it's raining quite hard now, as you can hear. I think we're going to get dumped on tonight. It's going to be really loud. Light rain is nice on a tent. Torrential rain is a nightmare. It's deafening. You have to put earplugs in. It's absolutely deafening. Oh. Alright. I'm pretty tired. See you in the morning. I might try and record some of the deluge if it does turn into a real full-on deluge. Other than that, I'll see you in the morning. Good night, everybody. And good night from Bruce. Good night, Bruce. Night, night. You got an eyebrow raised. Night, everybody. See you in the morning. Morning, everybody. Morning, Brucey. Are you dry? Oh, you're lovely and dry. Oh, you're coming up into the bed with me. Coming into bed with me. Come on, right there. Morning. Oh, you're dry and warm and lovely. Morning, everybody. And Bruce is dry, which is important. I did give him a dry down when he came to bed, but the blanket has done its job and the dog bed soaked it up. Plus, I've had this venting quite well, I think, even though it's been raining constantly all night. It hasn't stopped. I had to have my earplugs on. Oh, you're tired, boy. Oh, yes you are. Yeah, I had to have my... Don't push on there. Oh, you wet dog. I need to let Bruce out because he wants to go out and get wet and play in the rain. Thank you for my kisses, Bruce. Thank you. So, oh, he's caught up in my cabling and everything. All right, hang on. Bruce, on your bed. On your bed. Calm down. Go on your bed. Go on your bed, and then I'll let you out. Yeah, okay. I need to let him out and come back to you. Hang on. Wait. Hang on, Brucey. Let's look outside. It's wet. Okay. Well, we'll let the little Brucey out. There he goes. There he goes. Happy boy. Oh. I dread to think how wet it is in the corner where he was in the tent. Very, I'm thinking. Oh. It's damp. Not too bad. Right. this door out of the way. Oh, it's cold. It's cold out there. Everything is, oh yeah, it's been just raining constantly all night, and some of it was heavy rain as well. But I did sleep. I slept pretty well considering. This stupid pillow, the Trichology pillow, they didn't make the strap big enough so it doesn't stay on the max sleeping pad. It just clips off. So I'm gonna have to come up with my own work for that. Oh, it's quite breezy as well. So I'm gonna need all my gear on. Right, I need to get up, get at it, get a coffee going. Welcome back, everybody. Right, let me sort out Bruce's breakfast, because I know he's desperate for it. Hang on, Brucey, hang on. Hold on, me old mucker. Hang on a second, let me just get all this stuff sorted out. Ooh, I know, Brucey. Hold on, just a second. I know. Thank you for my kisses. I know. You're the best boy ever, yes. You're the #1 YouTube dog. Yes. Right. He is desperate for his breakfast. He's such a hungry boy. Okay, what we'll do is I'll give you your breakfast in the bowl. It's not in there, Brucey. Brucey, do you want your breakfast? Okay, it's going to go in there. Wait a minute. Let me just sort it for you. Hold on. I've got to find it first. He's very happy to be getting his breakfast. Here it is. Oh, it's cold this morning, I tell you. Woof. You're such a good boy. Oh, there's a couple of little treats in here as well. I'll give those to you afterwards. Hang on, Brucey. You gonna sit down? You gonna sit? Good boy. Go on then. Good boy. He sits so nicely. He's such a lovely boy. Okay. You know, coffee needs to go on. Urgently. Might just top my fuel up again. So, I was quite comfy last night. The only thing was I should have let a bit of air out of the thermarest. I had too much air in there. So I was getting a bit of pressure point. But other than that, it was fine. Okay, that's taken. Yeah, that pillow though. What's it called? The Trichology something pillow. It's not that comfy, to be honest. It's just a lump. The Nature Hike pillow, which is a lot more bulky. The Nature Hike pillow is way better. Yeah. Definitely is. Got enough for pancakes, but it's There's so much rain coming everywhere that I can just fill it off the tarp. Yeah, see, look. That will fill nicely. It'll be interesting to time that, see how long it takes. Gosh, Brucey, you must have been hungry. You wolfed that down. Leave my bottle. No. You've got your own. Bruce, get out of there. Come on, out. Now you're just being greedy. That was a massive breakfast. You might be wondering what I just did with those treats, but you can't have that straight away. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how long it takes that water bottle to fill up with just the water coming off that bit of the tarp. I was dry in the tent. Condensation? No. Considering it has been like this all night, raining, and that the air is just so wet. And everything is wet. Considering all those factors, the tent actually did well. I've got the other side of the tent just propped up like that, slightly at the bottom where there's a vent. But I did have the door open all night, and I had the inner tent flopped down as well. So it was exposed, totally exposed. I mean, bugs could have come in or anything. But I think that's the only way to really vent this tent in extreme wet conditions, which is what this is. And bearing in mind that I've got the tarp on top. Leave it, Bruce. You've got water here. Bearing in mind I had the tarp covering the majority of the tent. So if you were in this tent without a tarp and it was constantly raining, the condensation would be unbearable, I would say. So the Hilleberger Una, as much as I do like this tent, it's got major condensation problems. Probably more than my my MSR Hubba Hubba. I've never had a condensation problem with that tent, ever. But because this doesn't have any venting at all, except the front door, you are exposed to the elements. And it's got this little flap up here which covers the front door, but that's as far down as you can put the vent, is as far as that flap, which doesn't even cover all of the vent that's available. So you see, actually you'd want to vent, really you need as much venting as possible. That's just not enough. It isn't. I don't recommend this tent if you're regularly camping somewhere where it's going to rain a lot, where it's wet. Now, I didn't put that directly under the water. That was silly. Hold on. Let me just make some adjustments here. Right, that's better. So, no, I don't recommend it if you're in very wet conditions. I don't know what tent. I mean, I've had the Hubba Hubba MSR in very, very wet conditions and not had an ounce of condensation in there. It just vents so well. I think Hilleberg tents, they're built for snow, major wind events. But rain, I don't know. Just not sure on that. I am looking for... The water keeps... As my Nalgene gets heavier, it moves. The water's not going in there again. It's going to take a while to fill up. So I am looking for a tent, an all-round tent that's perfect for just wet weather, where wind isn't going to be an issue, where there will be no condensation. And yes, it's me and my dog in there, not just me. So I am obviously going above and beyond what it was designed for. So, okay, I've got to be fair on that, actually. I do have a wet dog in there with me and some wet gear. So it's not designed for that. It's designed for one person and to put your gear inside it. So yeah, I am pushing it to the absolute edge of, well, I'm sure I'm going over what they will say it was designed for. But still, it's an awkward setup for rain, especially because you don't have a vestibule to keep your stuff and to cook in. It is very awkward. You would have to unclip a corner of the tent to do that stuff. So I do like this tent, but for a different type of condition. I think it's going to make a good warm weather tent where there's no rain around. Yeah. So I'm still looking for the perfect wet weather tent. Still looking. Hillberg do I'm loath to say, a pole tent where you put 2 poles in, or you can use the ridgeline. The Anaris, and I am tempted with that. Yeah. But I'd also like to see if MSR have got a tent that's up to the spec. The only thing that puts me off MSR at the moment is all of the complaints about the lack of seam sealing. That's a big issue to me. If they've changed their manufacturing methods and have screwed up somehow, then that would be a big problem for me. So I'll have to wait and see on that. Plus, I just don't like the MSR colour of grey. I know they do a green version, it's just very difficult to get. We'll see, I'm rambling. Right. So yeah, I did sleep well, considering I'm on a bit of a slope. I just packed up one side underneath the sleeping pad, and that was fine. Yeah. I just don't like that pillow. Trekology pillow. And it is meant to be their ultralight pillow, so granted. Why bother with this stuff on the bottom? These dots. They're not non-stick. I mean, they're not sticky. I mean, they don't grip anything. They are completely and utterly useless. Look at them. It doesn't make any sense. So these tiny, tiny, tiny little, I guess they're meant to be silicone dots. But they don't grip anything. This just slides straight off anything you put it on. Yeah. This strap, this elastic strap, just fits around the max pad, but then these snappers come straight off. There's no locking mechanism. So I would love it if I could lock that on. But there's an old trick, and I just didn't use it this time because I thought the strap would work. But what you do is you basically get your t-shirt, get a cotton t-shirt, inflate your pad, and then put the t-shirt, pull the whole t-shirt over the pad and your pillow, like that. Okay, so it's got to be quite a snug fit t-shirt on there, and then that will hold your pillow in place. And it does actually work. So next time I'm going to use this with this pad, I'm going to bring a large cotton t-shirt that I can fit over both, and that should hold it all in place. There is nothing worse in a tent than a pillow that it just keeps moving. It's so irritating. Oh, look who's back. Shady. Shady's back. I don't know if you can see him. Brucey, what have you got there? You've got a pine cone. He loves his pine cones. Why don't you come and have it over here under the tarp? Brucey, bring it over here. Bring me the pine cone, come on. Hey, bring it here. Nope. He wants to lie in the rain. The tarp that I've set up over here to block the wind, that's doing a good job. Yeah. That is doing a good job. I might have to do that again, but with a lightweight tarp, because that's very, very heavy, that one. I've got an AquaQuest 2x3 meter tarp, which is very light. So I'd be tempted to use that. I just don't know how strong the material is in that and whether it could be used as a wind block. I don't know. You've got to be very careful with some of these tarps. They're not designed for that. Is it an AquaQuest Guide? I don't know. It's their lightest weight version. Wind is swirling again. Oh, I'm desperate for my coffee. Now, on the last stream I did, I always bring my blue cup, and while I'm talking, the coffee gets cold, really quickly. Well, this time I bought my insulated cup. This is actually my AB Outdoors and Camping cup. Another shameless plug, but that's what that is, and it does work well. It stays hot for absolutely ages. I think the other day I had a coffee in there and it was hot still after an hour and a bit. And it's got sort of insulated double layer lid. So I'd recommend that if you're on the hunt app for a cup. That's my pancake mix. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have flat whites, these packet coffees today. I'm not going to do cowboy coffee. So because this cup is quite big, I'm going to put 2 of these in. So these are a New Zealand product, Avalanche coffees. Great coffees, terrible packets. They barely ever rip first time. Now he's under the tarp. Didn't even notice him come in. Please don't comment, don't let your dog chew sticks. I can't stop him, okay? He does it for a reason, because he loves sticks. He knows why he does it. He wants to do it. So why would I stop him? Is it bad for him? It could be. But they do these things. It must feel good on their gums. It must feel great to get their teeth into something. Yeah. I'm not going to go and buy him store-made stuff. I think that's all a flipping waste of money. Piece of rope is brilliant as well. Natural cordage. And he tends to do it more when there's no grass around as well. If there's grass, then he'll eat some grass. And you know, dogs do that for fibre, and they do it to shift things through their gut, or when they don't feel right. Well, he does that for a reason. He's chewing that to pieces. What's up, Brucey? What can you smell? He's off on a mission. That Nalgene is half full, and not all the water has been going in it. It's blowing, so it's not all going in. But it's already half full. I've got plenty of water for pancakes. Okay, that is hot. So, I don't need it boiling, because I'm just desperate to drink. That's it, that's hot enough now. Perfect. Perfect temperature. Yeah, so I was on that live stream. Whoa. Haven't fixed my table properly. Oh, I've got to have this coffee first. It's hot. Oh, thank God for that. Yeah, I was on my live stream last week and I was chatting for so long, my coffee kept getting cold. It was horrible. So I figured bring this, keep my coffee hot. Have you got a pine cone, Brucey? Have you got another one? He's over there chewing a pine cone. Yeah, and this works well. So, pancakes. What do I need? Should be enough fuel in there to make a pancake. That shouldn't be an issue. So all I need is my pan, my oil. Okay, so first let's mix up some. I didn't bring egg with me this time because I forgot. What do you want, Brucey? What are you looking for? There's nothing here for you. No. You just had a massive breakfast. Give me a break. No. Yeah, those little eyes aren't going to do it. No, they're not. You've got your own bowl of water right there, full up. That's what he wants. He just wants more food. He always wants more food. He's a bottomless pit. Every dog I've had can just eat and eat and eat. Although the worst offender by far was my golden retriever that I had. He was lovely. His name was Louis. Such a sweet dog. And yeah, golden retrievers, man, can they eat. I don't know where that dog used to put it. I'm going to do this one's a bit thicker than usual. How's that? Too thick still. Okay, a bit more water. See, 3/4, just over half full, 3/4 full. Good job. Right, let's get the oil on here. Let's get cranking with a pancake. No bacon either, because I just haven't been having it. Because of the amount of meat I've been having at night. I just feel that I don't want any more bacon. Maple syrup in there. I'm going to make that mistake again. Okay, let's get this oil on. Out of here, Bruce. Not with the flame on. Too dangerous. Go on away. Go away. No, go away. think that's plenty hot enough. All right. To know me is to eat pancakes with me. And I like my pancakes massive. I don't do small anything. Oh no, it's lumpy. Oh, it's not mixed properly. It's got big lumps in it. Oh no, it didn't mix properly. I've got lumpy pancakes. Well, anyone who knows me knows that I've had a run of 2 videos now with perfect pancakes, and now I've just gone and blown it with my lumpy pancakes because it didn't mix properly in there. Should have poured more water in first time. So the rain has this weather has definitely delivered. It is just, I don't think it's stopped since I got here. But that's a testament to the tarp that I'm bone dry under here. And the tarp is not leaking at all. Seam sealing is perfect. Whereas that amok tarp, yeah, it needs seam sealing. The only trouble with doing seam sealing itself is it just looks hideous. It's not as good as seam tape and, factory, machine seam tape. Never is. But that stuff doesn't stick to certain materials. And so I think the amok tarp, it doesn't stick to it, which is why you've got to seam seal it from the outside. Who knows if I'll use that tarp again. It was nice. It was a good tarp. It was just a bit small. This seems like a much bigger tarp. With the amok, I could feel the rain, the moisture coming in from the side. Whereas this, I've got that extra bit of coverage. The only downside to this tarp is it's double seam. Yeah. Wonder why they did it like that. I don't know why. Don't know why. My favourite tarp by far is the my 3F UL Gear 4x3. That is a good tarp. It's just a hideously light green colour. But that does let more light in, which is kind of nice. So I am tempted to get another one of those, but a 3x3. Because 4x3 is quite excessive. I only use that if I know where I'm going to camp is going to have a lot of space, or if I want to use a hammock. Because for a hammock, I like to have a long tarp. So yeah, I might get one of those. Any other observations? Not really. Everything's soaking wet. It's going to take me days to dry it. Anne's going to have to put up with loads and loads of wet stuff all over the place. Yeah. I just miss having a fire. I love having a fire. I think if we move to level 3 next week, which is what they've already said is happening, then I can have a fire. I think I can have a fire in level 3. Yeah. So I'll just have to wait for that. Now, I don't know what I've done with my spatula. It's probably at the bottom of my backpack. It probably is. I definitely packed it. I tied my pack to the tent. so it wouldn't get soaking wet. So at least the back pad of my pack is now bone dry. Although I haven't got far to go home anyway. Just have to walk down the hill. Aha! Spatula. There you go. Now we're talking. Yeah, I don't know if you can make out, I cut a channel down there in the mud, the ground, so the water flows away from the tent. I think that did a good job. So this pancake is huge. What I don't want to do is burn it. I did a successful, my last video, my hammock camp video, which came out last night, I did a successful flip. This is a bit runny to do a flip on at the moment, but I will attempt another flip. I think he's just waiting for me to drop something. No, I know what it is. During the live stream, I let him have the rest of my pancake. So he now recognizes the smell. So even though he's had a massive breakfast, he's now loitering, waiting for pancake. But the only reason I let him have it last time was because, again, I was talking on the live stream, my pancake got cold, and so I just said, oh, I'll let him have it then. He's not getting it though. That would just be too gluttonous. Maple syrup. Oh yeah. I've only forgotten the maple syrup once. Never again. Okay, this looks like it's ready to flip. Oh no, it's still a bit wet actually. Because it's so huge, it's still a bit wet on the top. Let me just give it another minute. The way he's loitering here, waiting for a bit of pancake. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to have to give him a little bit. Because he just sits there and looks at you like this. You know that scene in Shrek? What was it? The second Shrek? Puss in Boots. Antonio Banderas is the cat. And he just opens his eyes. And he goes, "Aww." Well, that's what he does. He is a master at it. Master. In fact, it's that exact photo of him doing that that I took. That's on the t-shirt that I did for people who asked for a Bruce t-shirt. Bruce stuff. That's the exact photo I used of him doing that look. Because he is an expert at it. I don't think I'm going to be able to flip this, to be honest. In fact, I think it needs to cook a bit more, another couple of minutes before I even attempt anything like that. This is a massive pancake. Massive. And if you've never watched my videos before, don't bother commenting saying, oh, it's much easier if you do smaller pancakes. It's not what I'm about. I don't want to sit here cooking and cooking and cooking multiple pancakes. You try doing it out in the freezing cold. No. One and done. So in this case, it's got to be one huge one and done. He is soaking wet, but at least he's clean. He's not dirty. Well, he does have a leaf attached to him. It's when he's dirty that it's bad. And Anne has to deal with him. But he's actually pretty clean. And he was so dry in the tent after that, all that. I had him completely covered. Looked so cute. And he dried off beautifully under all of that. That was a lovely greeting he gave me this morning, and when he's all fluffy and dry. And now he's soaking wet again, horrible. Yeah. Wet dog, it really is grim. There's nothing nice about wet dog. And they don't understand why there's nothing nice about them, and they still want the same love and attention and strokes. Oh, I could flip this. Oh, yes. That's right. Boom, Bruce, boom. I flipped my pancake. Yes. Apart from the lumpy bits, I am now the pancake king. No one can make fun of me about my pancakes anymore. He actually knows the word pancake now. It's amazing. Welcome to the Bruce Show. He lets me come along. The only reason he lets me come along is because he knows that I can cook and he can't cook. He doesn't have opposable thumbs. But he is such a lovely boy. He's wet. Yuck. Where's your towel, Brucey? Oh, is that nice? Oh, that's better. You're bone dry. This towel is amazing. It's I got this on Amazon. Its brand name is 4 Monster. It's not a dog towel. It's meant for people, I think. But it's a microfiber towel. This one is 60 by 120 centimeters. 85% polyester, 15% polyamide. And it just soaks everything up. It's brilliant. You get caught out in the showers like I did yesterday, drying your hair, it's fine. Drying him, honestly, it takes the water off his back, and what's left is just dry. Look at that. It's incredible. Yeah, microfiber towel, 4 Monster. It comes in a little pouch, a breathable little box. This thing. And it's got venting all around it. So you just fold it up and put it in there. It's on a little carabiner. Awesome. Great product. I used to have to carry a proper towel, which would be, you know, cotton or something. It's useless. Whereas this thing, he actually ends up dry because of it. He loves a good ear stroke. You know what I'm doing? I'm burning my pancake. I'm yapping so much. An idiot. Okay. All right, pancake time. Oh, I mean, come on. To all the doubters and naysayers out there that think I can't make a pancake, I say, oh, but I can. I am the best. No one can comment anymore, lecture me about pancakes. Nope. Nope. Quash that demon. Lashings of maple syrup. Lashings. I've learnt it's better to have a few small containers of the same product than one large one. Because that way, if they break or leak, you only lose that piece. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you a beautiful, fluffy buttermilk pancake with maple syrup that is hot, crispy on the outside, fluffy in the middle, and just absolutely perfect. And it's about a centimetre thick. I mean, this is maybe a bit more than a centimetre. This is huge. This is heavy. This weighs like a kilo. Oh yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I might even add more maple syrup because it soaked all that right up. Now he knows he's not allowed to beg. I hate begging. I hate dogs that beg. It's so irritating. And it's just a bugbear of mine. I just don't like a dog sitting there looking at you begging when you're eating food. No, I can't stand that. So he knows he's not allowed to do that. And if he begs, he gets nothing. And he knows that as well. When I see Matthew Poser's dogs sitting there looking at him when he's eating, begging, that's begging. Oh, it drives me crazy to see that. I know he doesn't feed them when they do that. I know he doesn't give in to it. But I don't even let him sit there and look at me. Because it's just annoying, you know. This is good. It's nice and hot. I don't think this rain is going to stop anytime soon. It seems to really... In fact, I think it's picking up a bit. It is. It's getting heavier. All of which is bad news for my property, which suffered extreme damage in a big storm not long ago. I'm still waiting for the engineers and builders and insurance and stuff to sort it. This could make it slip even more. I hope not. That would suck. Now I can't tell, I can't see the screen from here, if it's misted up or not. This camera goes through this sort of process in the morning. It goes misty when you turn it on. And then after a few minutes, the heat that the camera builds up must dry out the lens and it clears suddenly. So I don't know if it's been through that process or not. If I was misty at the beginning and now it's clear, I don't know. Fingers crossed it's okay, because I can't take the lens out and wipe it. It's just too wet and I've got nothing that's dry enough to do that with. So I'm just hoping that it's sorted. But bear in mind, that's not a fault of the camera, this Sony a6600. It's been out all night, and it was out last night in the pouring rain. And it's weather sealed. But some moisture must get into the lens area. Yeah, and that's why it does it. Ooh. But it is a great camera. It's been flawless. Even when it was minus 20. Wind chill. As long as I kept rotating the batteries in my pocket, it was fine. Yeah, absolutely fine. So if you're looking for a good weather sealed... Yeah. Are you begging? No. No, Bruce. Looking for a good weather sealed camera, I'd recommend this Sony a6600. It's been very good, and I've got a good lens for it as well. It's a Sony lens, but it's very good. G something, I don't know what it is. I'll put it in the description. Wait for it. There'll be one comment that I'm faking the rain again. Wait and see. And they genuinely mean it. They really think that I'm faking the rain. That someone must be standing there with a hose pipe or something. There are a wide and varied crowd on YouTube, I have to say. But someone will say it. I can't see the rain on my screen. You're faking it. You've added the sound in. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? I'm getting full. Oh, did you see that? I almost knocked the pan over. It's because this handle is black and you can't see it. So in my last video, I was putting veggies in and I caught the handle. And all my vegetables that were cooking went splat straight on the floor. I might need to stick something around this just to make it more visible. Because it just blends in. I can see the rest of the pan, but you can't see the handle. Yeah, I need to put some spray it silver or something. This is still piping hot. Oh, that is hot. I'm getting stuffed. It looks like he's in luck. Can't believe it. Perseverance has actually paid off for him. I don't even know if you can see him down here. Okay, I'm going to have to give him and give him the rest. I've eaten quite a lot of it. That was a lot. Man, that was a lot. That was a huge pancake. That was the biggest one I've made. But I am stuffed. I'm getting hot now just from that, with the carbs. The trouble with this is now he's forming a pattern where he knows that when I make pancakes, he's going to get some. I'm a terrible dad. But what I need to do is space it out. That will add at least an extra 2 seconds to him completely wolfing this down. Brucey, would you like some pancake? Come round here. Come round, round, stop. Wait. Come over here, sit down. Very good boy, aren't you? Wait. Oh, Christ. No. Sit. I'm making you wait for this one, Bruce, because you shouldn't be having it anyway. Oh, you're dribbling. Go on then. Good boy. I gave in. Damn it. No backbone with him. So I've booked my other vaccine, my second dose. So I had my first dose a couple of days ago, and I had a few chills, aches, arm was killing me. But as I said, I've had COVID, so that's to be expected. I've booked my next one for 11 weeks' time. The reason for that is, Bruce, no, Bruce, don't. I'm going to lose my plate off the edge of the hill. Okay, well done. You did a great job. The reason I booked it for 11 weeks was that, and not 3 weeks or whatever it is that they say, is that the data seems to suggest that the longer you leave it between the first and second dose, the more effective it is. So if I combine the fact that I've had COVID, now I've had my first jab, my immunity level, I'm hoping, will be way up there. And then if I leave it another couple of months, 2.5 months for my third dose, I should have incredible immunity. I hope. You know. I'm not worried about getting COVID again. I've had it. But I just want to, if I'm going to have this vaccine, then I want to make sure it's doing as good a job as possible. You can have some of your water. It's odd. He's not actually drinking the water in this pot here that I poured out for him. So what I'll do is, maybe it's just that pan he doesn't like. I'm going to put this pan here, collect the water over there, and he'll drink from that one instead. He's very sensitive. He's a very particular little boy. Bruce is he's going under the table to get to the plate. There's nothing in the plate. He's absolutely cleaned it out. He's such a good boy, isn't he? That's it. You lick your parts on camera. Well, maybe you can't see that. Right, so it's still quite early, but that suits me. I like getting out of camp quite early. What's the worst thing about camping? Packing everything up. And there is camping in the rain. Packing up in the rain is horrible. Yeah. Now, obviously, I do 1 night, 2 night trips, but I don't go anywhere. I set up a base camp and that's it. If you are hiking, proper backpacking, and it's wet, then you'd have to be a lot more careful. Yeah. Because your gear won't dry out, and you don't want to get it all contaminated with wet gear, dry gear, and everything else. So, yeah, you definitely want to keep your wet stuff on the outside of your pack. So like your tarp, towel, maybe, that's wet. I've got 2 bin bags with me, or 1 bin bag with me, rubbish bag. So all my bone dry stuff will go in there, all my dry stuff. Because you mustn't get your quilt, sleeping bag wet at any cost. You've got to keep that dry. And any spare change of clothes you've got, anything like that, your electrical equipment, your camera equipment, whatever you're carrying with you, what needs to be dry, you've got to really, really keep it dry. And yeah, so just your basic rubbish bag will do that, like a really thick black bin liner. That's what I use. Everything else will just stay wet. Yeah. Nothing you can do. So if you're doing a multi-day hike or whatever, your wet stuff is just going to stay wet. Yeah. But it is pretty grim. And if I was doing one of those, I wouldn't have any of this gear. Wouldn't have my table, I wouldn't have my chair, frying pan, any of this stuff. I'd have all really ultra light. I'd have a much smaller pack as well. I said this pack weighs something north of 25 kilos and struggled to pick it up, even just get it off the floor. It's heavy, and I've walked up a hill with it. So I was sweating yesterday, which is always bad. But then as long as you've got a dry shirt to put on, like a dry thermal top, that's all good. So you towel yourself off, put your dry thermal top on, put all your jackets back on, and you'll be nice and warm. Whereas if you sit there in a damp, sweaty t-shirt, you're gonna freeze. You just won't get warm. And the best way to dry your stuff off like that, if it has got like that, is to basically put it on in your sleeping bag. It'll feel clammy and horrible at first, but it will soon heat up, and then miraculously you'll wake up and it will all be bone dry. It will have all gone outside of the sleeping bag. You might end up with a slightly damp sleeping bag on the outside of it, but you will dry off. Same with your socks. Put them in your sleeping bag with you. In freezing conditions, put as much in your sleeping bag as possible. Yeah. You can even put hot water, as long as it's sealed, as long as you trust it. You could put very, very hot water in your Nalgene and put that at the bottom of your sleeping bag. That way your feet will get nice and toasty. I was very warm in my Conundrum quilt, Enlightened Equipment quilt. Very warm, very nice. I got the straps the wrong way around on it though. So I had to get up and fix those in the middle of the night. Because you strap it to your sleeping pad. So when you're turning around on your back, on your side, and your front, the sleeping bag stays put. The quilt stays put. It doesn't turn with you, which would be quite annoying, and also it would let air in. Okay, I'm really dreading packing up. It is the worst. If you've not been camping before, packing up in the rain is horrible. It really is. Yeah, this tarp has stopped beading water, which shows me that the whatever coating was on it is gone now, DWR coating or whatever. Whereas the 3F UL tarp I've got, still after these few years, it still beads water perfectly. So this is going to be a much heavier tarp because of it. It takes a lot longer to dry. This is like the Amok tarp. Doesn't have a really good DWR coating on the outside. And the DD Hammocks tarp doesn't either. Now, why is that? You know, I don't even think the AquaQuest one does. In fact, I think it's only my 3F UL tarp that completely beads water off it. Huh. I hadn't really thought about that. The issue with this is that when it rains like this, and then let's say you're in winter and it gets really, really cold, that all just turns to ice. Yeah, and it just builds up and it gets really heavy. And that's when you'd need a ridgeline. Take the pressure off it. Or even a pole. A pole between two trees would work. Just got to chop a pole down. Find a dead standing that you can use for that. Don't chop live stuff. Right. I'm going to sit here and finish my coffee. And come back to you when I'm packing up. Isn't that right, Brucey? Yeah. Right, time to pack everything away. I'll probably do this fast forwarded. I'm almost done. Just the tarp. That wasn't too bad actually, because the tent wasn't that wet. That big clear tarp is so heavy and bulky. I think next time I would use one of my AquaQuest, the small AquaQuest tarp as a windbreak, much lighter. Oh, I wish I'd left my chair out now just to have a quick sit down. Okay, tarp. Now, this should all just pop straight off. I'm going to start with the two lower ends, let the water off the tarp. So you can probably see what I mean about what I was saying about the coating. The DWR is gone. So it's just kind of wet. See what I mean? It's just sodden. Well, with a 3FUL, I don't have that problem. It beads off. I could treat this tarp, but it would be nice if it came factory treated for it. Hey, Brucey. Bruce is being so helpful. As usual. He's not being helpful at all. My little drainage channel that I put in here worked perfectly. Drained it all off the edge. Bruce has got a stick. He's very happy. As much as he loves coming camping, he loves going home as well. To his mum. Okay. How did I tie this one on? Oh, I've got a spare cord here. I'll leave that there. So yeah, packing up is... Actually, you know what? Packing up in the rain isn't the worst thing. Trying to then dry all your gear out, that's actually the worst thing. And there's no quick and easy way to do that. I hang mine, luckily I have a big awning outside the house that I can hang it in. And I also have a gym, and so I put the dehumidifier on in there and spread it all out in there. But you're talking a couple of days of just stuff everywhere. And if you've had a really smoky fire, it absolutely stinks. It really does. The smoke just fills the house. The smell of the smoky tarp. It's awful. Let me move my backpack. This really is the best backpack I've ever owned. That's a Tonka Bison. It's heavy. And so I went with the Kelty because I thought, it's much lighter. It's like a kilo lighter. Yeah, well, I don't know if any of you have ever seen that film, Lock, Stock. Is it Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels? Oh, I can't remember which one it is. No, it's not that. Snatch. With, gosh, is it Brad Pitt plays a gypsy? Yeah. Anyway, they're after diamonds. Some big diamond. Anyway, in one of the scenes, the Russian guy, is he Russian? I think he's Russian. The Russian guy is selling the other guy a gun. And he says, heavy is good. Heavy is reliable. Well, that's the same with backpacks. Heavy is good. Heavy is reliable. This thing is reliable and it's surprisingly waterproof. The Kelty There's no waterproofing in that whatsoever. So everything in it just gets wet. And I've sprayed that thing down so many times as well with DWR. And it's still just lets everything through. The zips let everything through. So the Kelty is definitely a dry weather pack. Don't get it if you're going to be out in the rain. If you're going to be out in the rain in really harsh conditions, snow, rain, that sort of stuff, and you want a reliable backpack, the Tatonka Bison. That's what this is. This is the Tatonka Bison 90 plus 10. It's a big pack. It's a heavy pack. But you can't go wrong with it. See, I've got lots of mini carabiners on the end. Always carry your mini carabiners. Very, very useful. This is a recent thing of me tying all the cordage up before packing the tarp away. Otherwise it just ends up as a massive rat's nest, and it truly is a nightmare when you come to unpack it. So this is only a recent thing I've started doing. But yeah, tie your cordage up in advance. Will save you a lot of hassle when it comes to packing up, unpacking, that sort of thing. Okay, let's undo this one. All the slip knots held perfectly, come undone easily. Don't they, Brucey? Hey? Yeah, you're ready to go home, aren't you? Yeah, the only reason he wants to go home is just to see his mummy. That's it. There's no other reason. He has so much fun out here. He's quite happy to stay. So YouTube told me to release this video when I did. It was Friday night, my time. It said, oh, all your viewers are online then. Release your video then. And I did. Not this video, the video that I released last night. I did. And hardly any viewers. Yeah, so I think YouTube has been telling a lot of people when's the best time to release their videos. That was silly, wasn't it? I left that the wrong way up. And they're just getting it. It's just wrong. It doesn't make any sense. So you know what I'm going to do? Even though I've only just released one last night, which was the hammock camping fiasco with the Amok hammock, where I knocked my food over. I'm going to go home. I'm going to edit this. And upload it, and I'm going to release it this weekend as well. So it's 2 feature-length videos in one weekend, because I was quite happy just releasing them when I'd done editing them. I wasn't thinking of viewers, as in the amount of hits I'm going to get and blah 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 and analytics. I just released them because video's ready. Here you go. If you want to watch it, great. Life was much nicer like that. It was a lot less stressful. And then I got sucked into this stupid YouTube creator nonsense, and it tells you, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing this, and when to release your videos, and this is when the majority of your subscribers are on, and it really affects how your video does. Yeah, all that stuff. It was a total waste of time. And so it's been sitting there on YouTube for 4 days, ready to be watched. But it said, no, don't release it now, release it at the weekend. I released it at the weekend. And it was crap. It didn't do anything. So I'm done with that. I'm just going to release them when they're ready. And to hell with it. People watch them and like them, then great. Brilliant. If they share the videos, then even better. Because I think that does make a big difference when people share them. How do you share YouTube videos? I think you basically share it to all of your friends and put it on your Instagram or put it on your Facebook or something. Anyway, apparently that makes the biggest difference, is sharing it. Yeah, because then you get a whole new load of people watching. So if you could, that would be fantastic. If you're watching my videos, if you could share them, definitely thumbs up helps. Really, really helps. Thumbs up, because it's all interaction. Even if you give it a thumbs down, okay. It's all engagement. Subscribing obviously makes the biggest difference. Turning on that notification bell apparently is the biggest influence, because it shows that people really like your content and they want to be alerted when it's ready. So that apparently tells Google that people like you, like your videos. They like Brucey. So for Brucey's sake, please subscribe if you like. Right, I'm missing a strap here. That's why. Plugged it into the wrong one. There's many options on this. So yeah, please, if you like the videos, please like them. Please subscribe. Definitely click the notification. If you want to buy me or Bruce a treat or coffee, you can go to buymeacoffee.com. It's on my YouTube channel. And yeah, just stick with us. Have some fun with us. And I'll just keep producing more and more videos. Thanks a lot, everyone, for coming along on this. Bruce, are you going to come and say goodbye? Come on. Oh, massive pine cone for Brucey. Come up here. Come and get it. Come on. Up, up, up. All right, everybody. It's been great having you along. I hope you enjoyed it, all my rants and ramblings. Ah! He almost took out the camera. That was so close. He hit the tripod. It just went, oh! Nightmare. And now he's sitting there looking at me going, oh, I should have knocked it over. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming along on this one. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to upload this soon. And hopefully Brucey and myself will be back out with another one soon after this as well. And a live stream. We're going to do another live stream. So look out for that too. Thanks again, everybody. Catch you next time. Hey, Brucey. Come on. Come here. Let's go. Let's go, 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 go. Oh, I don't know. You almost knocked my camera over. You're so naughty. Yes, you are. Bye, everybody.